A bird feeder discussion is heating up online tonight. Experts are telling people to take down their bird feeders right now to prevent the spread of disease. But a lot of people are worried in these freezing temps about hummingbirds. King 5's environment reporter Michael Crow joins us live. So Michael, you told us about the pine siskin problem earlier this week. What are you learning now?
Sure. So first, a little background. There's what's called an eruption right now with an I, not an E. It's when a lot of these birds will come further south than usual, right? Because they're looking for food. So we're kind of overrun with pine siskins in Washington right now. They're these little finch birds that you've probably seen in your yard. People are seeing them everywhere. So they can carry salmonella bacteria, and when they're all congregating at these bird feeders, they can spread it to each other, and it's often fatal. Paws, a wildlife rescue, has been getting a ton of them in this winter, about triple their previous record. So the state has been asking people to remove all bird feeders to prevent the spread of this virus. They want them down through March here in western Washington and through April in eastern Washington, where cold weather would bring them around longer. So take a look at a little bit of video here. This is why we're doing this again. We're talking about some concerned messages from folks that just love hummingbirds that visit their backyard feeders, especially with all this snowfall. They're worried that they won't make it without access to that sugar water that hummingbirds love so much. So here's what the state has to say on it. Yes, when they ask you to remove and clean all bird feeders, they do mean hummingbird feeders too. The Seattle Audubon Society actually says they have been reported as perches for sick birds, even though they don't feed there. State Fish and Wildlife is very confident, though, that hummingbirds will be able to survive without human intervention, even through a cold snap like this. Here is that feeder advice from Paws earlier this week.
Take your feeders down, clean them with soap and water very thoroughly, disinfect them with a 10% bleach solution, and then keep them down for that time period until this eruption has passed.
So again, they are talking about all feeders, that's suet feeders, seed feeders, and the hummingbird feeders. They also extended that to bird baths when I was talking to them earlier this week. Anywhere that birds would congregate in an unusual way that they wouldn't if food wasn't being supplied to them. That's again to stop the spread of a deadly bacteria for these birds. There is a note, it's not a legal requirement, it's guidance, right? They do say, Fish and Wildlife, if you leave your feeders up, they want you to clean them with that 10% bleach solution daily to be careful. And a note, it's not necessarily dangerous to people, but you could catch it from these feeders. So they want you to wear gloves and wash your hands really carefully and keep pets away from those areas as well. Live in Graham tonight, Michael Crow, King 5 News.